Do I have plastic? No, I don't have any plastic in my body. That's you, because you keep eating all that cheap food full of all the microplastics. I can afford good food, so I don't have that problem. Oh, you wish I was a BBL demon. I haven't had one of those either. You guys don't have enough money to know the type of things people really are doing.
You're on timing.
No, I didn't say it was real. I just said it's not plastic.
Wait, what do we do?
I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. What inspired this episode was that clip of Iggy Azalea. I was curious, what are celebrities doing? How do they get these seemingly better BBLs than the average person? Is it just a finance thing? Is it just money? What is it? And then I entered this rabbit hole, and all of a sudden Ozempic, stem cells all popped out, going everywhere. And I was confused, but I wanted to explore it and break it down and eventually talk about beauty standards and how that is so manipulated and crafted, and in a strange way we're all victims of it. Anyway, I don't want to waffle for too long, but this episode is about BBLs, the secrets behind them, and how celebrities are able to craft better ones. So without further ado, let's explore. Before we get into the episode, please do me one massive favor. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. In order for the channel to grow, it needs your support. All I'm asking, if you haven't subscribed, to subscribe. If you've got something you want to say, something you want to share, something you want to hear covered later, just put into the comments. If you really enjoy it, hit the thumbnail. Hit the thumbnail, hit the like button. And if you really like it, that's a great word, a great sentence, please share it. But I don't want to waste your time, so let's get into this episode.
Oh, you wish I was a BBL demon. I haven't had one of those either. You guys don't have enough money to know the type of things people really are doing.
It's easy to hear what Iggy Azalea said and just assume that it's money. It's a quick assumption, but money doesn't necessarily equate to a better BBL.
Did they actually end up charging you for this whole procedure?
They charged me $26,000 for a procedure that lasted probably, the procedure itself, probably an hour and a half, because by the time they numbed you and whatnot, an hour was probably paperwork. And yeah, and when I went back and said, you know what, I'm not happy with this, I want my money back. Sorry, you signed with no refunds. So they said, we can touch it up. We'll have to take some more fat from here and put it here, but we're going to charge you another $6,000. It was like,
you see, through the research I did, and I've done quite a lot of research over the years. I've done an episode on BBLs before, so if you're looking for something that gives you more the background and the science of BBLs, I recommend you that. But the research I have done has shown that the biggest factor that makes BBLs better for the individual person is knowledge, information and access.
and do your research. And what I paid in Miami was only $6,500.
And that's actually a question that I was going to ask again, is what did you end up paying in Miami? And so going from 6,500, going from 6,500 to 2,600 for 26,000. I mean, from a $26,000 procedure to get botched to 65 and to look absolutely glam, snatched, fabulous. It's astronomical, honestly. And this is what another point that I want to say to everyone is that it doesn't matter if the surgeon charges a lot. That doesn't mean that it's going to be good surgery.
The more knowledge, the more access, and the more information you have at your disposal, the better you'll be able to pick up the right doctor, know what you need, know if you need it, and make it make sense for you.
My guys aren't the type of guys you think. You feel me? My guys are real guys.
There is a purely ethical question behind some of these BBLs. Are these doctors taking advantage of a trend that is in some shape or form dying? I don't believe that the BBLs will ever truly die, but that exaggerated look is definitely gone with people reducing it. But having an hourglass shape will never really go. I see it similar to like the boob jobs in the early 2000s where people still do breast augmentation, but that excessive look is gone. But I digress. There's questions over the ethics of this because doctors have taken advantage of it. They're doing multiple procedures.
As the cosmetic surgery industry grew in Miami and demand for procedures increased across socioeconomic groups, a new type of clinic sprung up to offer these surgeries at discounted prices.
I would call them high volume centers, where the procedure is significantly less or cheaper than it would be pretty much anywhere else in the US. I think they're making it up in volume and they're doing many BBLs per surgeon per day.
What impact does that have on the actual surgery itself or on the doctors?
So there is such a thing, and we call it surgeon fatigue.
A high volume, low price clinic, the surgeon can perform anywhere from 6, 7, or even up to 10 surgeries a day.
I've been doing this procedure now for more than 10 years. It takes me about 2 to 2.5 hours to do one. After 3, I'm exhausted.
According to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, a BBL can cost about $14,000. At a high volume, low price clinic, a BBL could go from $2,500 to $4,000.
And as you can tell from those clips, that these doctors, you have to look into the ethics of it, not just if it's cheaper, not just if it's highly recommended. You want to look at, do your full research. ChatGPT is here. It's becoming our best friend and it should be able to assist us more, talk to people. You should speak to a doctor, and if their primary care or concern isn't your well-being, does it make sense for you? If they're just focused on getting you onto the table and doing you as quickly as possible, that should ring alarm bells for you.
Off the bandwagon, that's what I want you to do. What do you mean?
Work with your GP, work with your regular doctors to just see if things make sense for you. See if this procedure is something that could cause you other risks. You may come with other health concerns, which you need to go through with your regular doctor. In the UK, we call them GPs. As some of you already know, there can be many issues with a BBL, many health risks, some of them, and then it's not limited to it being injected into a vein, creating issues of you collapsing, fat embolisms, loss of breath, many things. It can be fatal. It's the most fatal plastic surgery or surgery actually out there. Some of that is to do with its popularity as well, larger sample pool. Some of it, again, like I said earlier, is to do with the ethics of the doctors themselves. There are a number of reasons what have led to that number.
She sent her family this photo before her surgery. It was the last image of her alive.
The next thing I knew is that they called saying that she had respiratory arrest. So we went to the hospital where she was taken from the clinic, but she was dead already.
This video was taken that day.
And that's when we noticed that she wasn't breathing well. And it was that moment that we called 911. I mean, we didn't wait a second.
By 11:55 a.m., Dania was pronounced dead. Dania died of a pulmonary fat embolism, which happens when fat is accidentally injected into the veins, stopping the heart.
But it's something that you want to be aware of. I'm pretty sure some of you are aware of that. But the point of this segment was to highlight that the most important thing is to make sure that you're well researched, well prepared, and you're not just going for the cheapest or the most popular doctor out there. And that is one of the massive advantages that celebrities are afforded.
And I would never forget going to her funeral. I remember her daughter was still wearing a white dress, screaming to the top of her lungs for her mom.
Did you wish that you had talked to her about BBLs, or did it even change your thoughts about your own surgery?
If I would have said that, I would have been a hypocrite because I was going in the next week.
Another reason why I think even celebrity fatality rates on BBLs and plastic surgeries are not as high, although more popular, is because they're able to track and monitor their hormone levels. They have hormone therapy. BBLs can have an indirect effect on things like PCOS, menopause, a number of them, and that's to do with the fat transfer. The fat transfer can affect your hormones as well. And celebrities have those monitored regularly, especially if they're actors or actresses working in if they're musicians, they're touring, something they will be tracking more regularly. So that actually brought me down to the Ozempic list, where I realized, how are they able to manage their weight, manage their body? Are they just training harder than us? And that's not the truth. They have access to things that help them lose weight, help them maintain their weight, because having a BBL will give you an initial hourglass figure, but without maintenance, without genuinely looking after your body, all you've done is just added on a bunch of extra weight to your buttocks, and you still would look a mess if you're not looking after yourself. There is no way around the general maintenance of that. So celebrities have that access, they have that maintenance, they have a structure around them. Some of them, again, you see these botched looks, and I do think the botched looks come from and stem from that they are victims of their own circumstances.
Well, it was supposed to affect me emotionally well, but unfortunately the first time around it was very depressing, lots of crying days, very insecure, self-conscious, and frustrated that I spent all my savings on that. And remember, I'm Canadian, so 26,000 US, do the conversion. It's a lot more to Canadian. Second time around, it's been amazing. My confidence has back, and I feel good. I'm still working out, working hard. I mean, the BBL isn't just going to stay there. You still have to work out, and like you said, Sabrina, the massages you've done have been outstanding.
We're all on social media now, so we're all kind of, I don't know what the word I want to use, but we're all kind of victims of like moving beauty standards, moving or shifting goalposts when it comes to beauty standards. And celebrities are at the forefront of that. That clip you saw of Kylie Jenner is an example of how she is someone who was a victim of a beauty standard. And they move the goalposts so often that eventually, I think some of the celebrities realize that the natural look looks better. That is in part though because less people look natural these days, so they know that looking natural makes them stand out more. Celebrities inherently are supposed to stand out more. They're supposed to look different to the average people, the group, the masses, I should say.
And I like it now. I never hated myself. I don't know, I'm fucking weird. I like to change shit. I'm weird. I like to tinker. Fuck, I don't know, you know.
Some of that issue can be simplified to they're just victims of a moving goalpost. Their insecurities can be exploited. Also, paradoxically, while I said they have better access, they have better financial means as well, and have people around them that potentially can have the information, due to their popularity and potential finances, they can be exploited. Also, they can pressurize doctors to just do the surgery with their money as well. So paradoxically, they have that issue on their side. So that can be a part of the botch look too. But Iggy Azalea isn't just talking about the therapy, the maintenance, the access as well. She's talking about specific procedures. There's things like stem cell augmentation in terms of butt lifts as well, fat transfer. So I think it's stem cell fat transfer. There's another one. There's internal lifting. There's also ultrasound assisted shaping. Essentially, there is just a spectrum. So what I'm going to refer to is beneath the iceberg of BBLs. There is a whole lorry load of procedures that they have available. They have the information to know about, and they're going to be more experimental than perhaps the standard fat transfer than everyone else. And that allows them to have a more snatched look, a less exaggerated look, although they all kind of look bad. A statistic out there says that only about 5% of BBLs actually look good, actually look natural, but that's probably why the reduction of BBLs right now is so popular, because they're trying to get that more natural look as well. So there's that. But how do celebrities manage their weight so well alongside the BBL to keep that snatched look? You secretly know I've already alluded to this, but I have a really good intro prepared for it, so I don't want it to be wasted.
Years, Ozempic has become a household name and a cultural phenomenon. GLP-1 drugs are everywhere, and already 1 in 8 US adults have tried them. The Danish company that makes Ozempic is worth more than the Coca-Cola company and McDonald's combined. Look online and you'll see comments about Ozempic face, hair loss, severe stomach problems, and dangerous side effects. And then a moment later, you'll see a report that it could help with fertility or treating Alzheimer's or even shopping addiction. And it's not just weight loss drugs. We've been lied to about weight loss itself for years now. How much do we know about GLP-1 drugs, and are we being told the full truth about them?
It's so crazy to me, by the way, how this has just entered like the zeitgeist, how people can talk about this fairly like formally, like knowledgeably. Because when we say Ozempic, all I think is, Ozempic, which is terrible. You know?
It's so good.
GLP-1s or Ozempic. It is a drug that was created in the 2005 to be specific. Or Pacific, if you're asking my cousin. Created initially for diabetes medication, found out through testing and research and results that it helped with weight loss. I genuinely believe at that point it became popularized to celebrities because they have access to experimental research, experimental procedures. They have access to that, I believe. But it got super popularized and entered the mainstream zeitgeist in about 2022, 2023. And it got a mass hysteria, people seeing these snatched looks, these sickly looks. But we learned that celebrities' weight loss wasn't natural. Something, if I'm being honest, was quite obvious. So some of these transformations, these body transformations that you see online where someone says, hey, I was able to lose X amount of weight in such a period of time, you now know potentially could be Ozempic related. It's kind of like the mid 2010s when people will say, hey, this 28-day butt challenge will give you my butt, which is really a BBL enhanced butt. So you've had that now where people have now, we question more how people are achieving their body goals, how people are achieving these depictions of beauty standards. We are questioning it more, and Ozempic is the main theme, but it's important to say there's many misconceptions behind that.
Whether you lose weight with Ozempic or old-fashioned diet and exercise, be proud of it and don't let anybody put you down. That being said, here are 4 interesting facts about Ozempic. Number 1, some doctors are microdosing Ozempic, using 1/4 to 1/2 the dose for less side effects. Overexercising, especially cardio, can actually lead to slower weight loss in some people. Overeating isn't always the cause of excessive weight gain. Hormones, insulin resistance, and other factors can also exert an effect. And ideally, GLP-1 agonists like Ozempic should be used as a temporary assistance. Some doctors make a lot of money injecting these substances, so be wary if that doctor is telling you that you should use it for the rest of your life.
To be honest, I'm very resistant to drugs, medication, things that enhance you. I'm very resistant to it. That's mad. But yeah, I'm quite resistant to it. But some people do suffer and struggle with weight loss more than others. Some people have insulin resistance. So Ozempic is very helpful with that. If you're someone who struggles with PCOS, the research does show that it helps. It helps women with menopause too. It helps with sleep apnea. It helps with diabetes. It helps manage your weight. It helps reduce the food noise, as some of these clips would have shown.
And so if you are having a difficult time managing your weight and that weight is causing you to have associations with inflammation, reductions in your responses to hormones, and leading you to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, strokes, and even dementia later in life, and you want to address that, those urgent health concerns, you take that with the possibility of the risk, you weigh that balance, and what that equation equals and what you feel comfortable with is what you should go with.
Some of you may be well aware of the potential side effects, the gastro issues that it can cause. It can cause memory loss, hair loss. These have been proven and shown to cause they seem to be on the lesser side of the side effects.
The most common symptoms or side effects associated with these medications are gastrointestinal symptoms like constipation, nausea, diarrhea. Those are the most common. And then the second most common are outcomes like pancreatitis and problems with your gallstones. And these often present as abdominal pain. And as an emergency physician, if a patient is on these medications and comes in with abdominal pain, I'm going to be more inclined to wonder if they have one of these complications. They're not as common, but they're important to know about. And then there are these rare outcomes that we're trying to understand. Now, with all of that being said, you have to weigh that against the benefit of an intervention.
Right.
Again, how much do we really know? We're still not fully sure. You could make that argument that every drug out there, there's side effects that we are always learning about. But I am a bit I'm a bit cautious about how much it's being pushed, but at the same time, it is important. If it does help people, it's okay. I don't think it's an issue. No one should shame people for that. Again, I'll say this now and clearly, if you take Ozempic, you still have to manage your weight. You still have to have regular movement. You still have to look after yourself. It is not a silver bullet. You don't just take Ozempic and lose tons of weight and look great forever. You have to manage it. And it's something, Ozempic, that you will be taking for a long period of time. Something some doctors do is do microdosing with Ozempic.
That they're a quick fix. I think that GLP-1s, number one, the average amount of weight loss for those who take GLP-1s is less than the drastic changes that we've seen. We see drastic changes because I think that people who are platforming these have significant privilege in the interventions aside from GLPs. And so their change is probably so much bigger than what people will experience. About 15% of people who use GLPs don't respond to them. And so that can make people feel very, very isolated in a way. Because again, the human bodies are so different. And so just like there are a variety of different blood pressure medications, and some of my patients who are on the same type of blood pressure medication will continue to have high blood pressure, that's because their body isn't responding in the way that others will respond. So I think that's the biggest part here that people don't get is that we all respond differently. If you have a history of pre-diabetes or diabetes, it's typically more difficult for you to lose weight even on these medications, which is why we see a 5 to 10% less weight loss with those who have diabetes. So I think the biggest misconception is that once you take it, you're going to immediately see the outcome that you've seen on television, and that's not the reality.
But I would say be cautious, speak to your GP, and do your research into this and see if it's something that makes sense for you. But something I feel that needs to be said and doesn't get spoken about enough is that beauty standards are just shifting. They are moving. Once upon a time, that thick BBL look was in trend. Now people say it looks like an auntie body.
Girls with BBLs give auntie now. I saw something on Instagram where somebody said that BBLs are essentially for aunties now. And it made me think about whether the BBL is now a generational indicator in the way that, say, 80s hair, for example, is of a time. This hair is not timeless. It reminds you of a specific decade. Are BBLs the same? Are they the 80s hair of the 2010s decade?
I see what they're saying. It does age you. It just shows that you come from a particular era. This slimmer snatch look, if I'm being honest, has always been the trend. Always.
Funny how the body positivity movement died as soon as Ozempic hit the shelves. So everyone's making fun of this, but I see it a little different. Let me explain. So Lizzo and all those other body positive people were like that because maybe they tried to diet in the past. Maybe they tried to cut back and they just couldn't do it. I can imagine if I were to try to lose 5 pounds and my body fights me, let's say I'm tired, exhausted, hungry all the time, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I'm not meant to be that weight. Maybe I'm meant to be this larger size. And then what I think happened is all of them tried some sort of weight loss drug, whether it be Ozempic, tirzepatide, retatrutide, and found that weight loss was effortless for me. So now this is their new body that they can easily maintain, just as they were maintaining their old body, if that makes sense. I can see how that logically adds up in their weird little brain, but what I cannot excuse is if they say health at any size. Or the ones that are like, I actually prefer to be this size. I would never want to be that skinny. I think deep down, if you were to ask these overweight people, I give you the power to snap your fingers and lose 50 pounds. How many of you would choose it? I believe it would be 100%.
Unless you've been living underneath a rock, most of my life, being slimmer was always better. Just keeping it real. Not saying I prefer that, but the reason I mention that is don't become a victim of a moving goalpost, a beauty standard that doesn't even understand itself. Some of these celebrities that are following these beauty standards, they don't look that great. Everyone's talking about Ariana Grande and Cynthia, their weight loss transformations. Does it look good? I'll let you be the judge, but I think I know what you think, and I think it looks bad too. That's what I think. I'm not saying that they're on Ozempic, but probably are. Kim Kardashian herself, you just can't believe someone with that amount of wealth, that amount of access to information, that access to the best surgeons out there has such an obvious BBL. Kylie Jenner, you've probably seen from the earlier clips, looks better with a more natural look. How natural is a look when you've had that much surgery? I'll leave that to you. But the reason that I mentioned that point now is because I want people to understand that learn your body, learn how best your body, what's best for your body. Don't let anyone shame you if you want to do surgery, but also don't be pushed and forced by a society with a moving goalpost, a moving beauty standard that does very much pick on women's insecurities because, hey, it makes money and capitalism cares about one thing, but also exploits the deepest insecurity without realizing that generally the way around your insecurities is to do the fundamental work. It is to look after your skin, to eat healthier, to have regular movement. And if you want to add something on top of that, do the research and prepare yourself and be sure that it's something that you want to do for yourself. Some people, there was a trend, and even I said it in my video, though I wasn't too harsh, where they said, don't get a BBL, just get in the gym. For some people, they just don't have the body for it. Some people don't have the shape for that. But what I do recommend is you will never, ever have a magic bullet and say, hey, if I do this, it magically fixes my insecurity. Body dysmorphia is real. It will not work like that. One of the side effects of Ozempic is body dysmorphia.
If I tell you the size, like, do you want to hear the size that they were? What size were they? I can't hear you no more. It's triple E, double F. Yeah, a triple E. So trust me, boo boo. You didn't have what only Katanya had because you would have been doing the same thing I did. Your breasts are. I didn't even know they did triple Fs. Your breasts are perfect. I like how they look. You ain't there yet. That you gotta be even thinking about doing nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even.
So many celebrities talk about that beauty standard shaming them when they had good bodies. Little Kim is an example, and there's so many. And I just want people out there who are watching this video to just realize that you're never going to be this young. Your body probably looks better than you realize. And if you are really upset with it, you can never, ever, ever beat the foundational work, and there is no silver bullet. Anyone promising you a silver bullet is lying to you. There is this trend of natural Ozempic, things that are naturally help you lose weight. Some of them, there's some truth to it. Some of them are just exploiting you. I'll be honest.
Let's talk a little bit more about Nature's Ozempic. Nature's Ozempic. Nature's Ozempic.
Nature's Ozempic.
Nature's Ozempic.
You'll find people presenting berberine, peppermint tea, green tea, vitamin B12, high fiber diets, high protein diets, all of these things as being natural alternatives to taking Ozempic. There are certain foods that can increase the amount of GLP-1 hormone that your body makes. The part where they get it wrong is that that doesn't necessarily equate to weight loss, which appears to be the goal of many people consuming this content. The level of GLP-1 production that diets can provide is nowhere near what you can achieve with prescription medications.
Those programs that were selling these amazing butt transformations in the mid 2010s or late 2010s, and they still do it now, most of them don't work. These workout programs that in 28 days you will lose all the weight that I lost don't work. Some of them were lying. Some of them were genetically enhanced. We found out, and we keep finding out, that celebrities are using everything in their disposal to keep that look. And an example, a case study of this is Serena Williams.
Spokesperson for GLP-1 medication was definitely not on my summer 2025 bingo card.
I don't care about haters. I actually had them my whole life. They can just get in line.
So you're taking GLP-1s?
Yeah.
And you're working with Ro. What was the moment that you were like, I gotta get on these?
I've been trying to lose weight for so long, ever since I had my first child in 2017. I literally played professional tennis, and I was never able to get my weight down to where I needed it to be for a healthy area, no matter what I did.
Skinny has always been in, but now have things gone way too far?
I keep saying this, she's in a white world, in a predominantly white sport that has shamed her body for years. Her body has looked amazing. Now, we can look at, and this is an important thing about BMI, because BMI is the statistics around BMI, and what a good BMI is very skewed on one specific race, white people. So what a good BMI is to a white person is different to an ethnic person, a black person, a South Asian person, East Asian person, it's going to look different, the BMI.
Behind the data is diverse so that you can apply it to a diverse population. And so what we found is that for Black women specifically, they tend to have higher BMIs than their white peers. But does that translate to poor health outcomes? And not necessarily. There are studies that show that Black women or women who have higher BMIs can be metabolically healthier than their white counterparts who have lower BMIs. And I think it's about also how we hold weight. We know in medicine now that holding weight in different places of your body creates different risks. And so for those who might hold weight significantly in their abdomen, we know that that is a significantly increased risk of cardiovascular disease compared to women who might hold weight in their hips, their waist, their butt. And so I think that's a really important discussion to have, and understanding that it's not just about how much you weigh, it's about how you hold weight and also your metabolic health. And all of those factors can be different and so much more complex than a simple math equation.
But I digress. Serena Williams has been shamed for a body type that in an ethnic space is the standard. And the reason I say that is to understand that where are you seeking your validation from? What are you trying to achieve? When I heard that she was on Ozempic, an athlete with an amazing body, I just realized that she had become shamed and sort of programmed into disliking a body standard that most people are trying to copy in some shape or form from her white counterparts. And the reason I mentioned Serena Williams, the reason I think that point is important is that I want people to be aware that to learn to love your body and look at where you are seeking validation from. I couldn't make that point and I couldn't say it enough. It's easy for me to say, love your body, don't take this stuff. I have an inclination to not trust doctors too much. It's easy for me to make that point, but for some people, Ozempic will help. For some people, they really want a BBL. You can't stop them. Don't shame bodies. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just trying to make the point that in some shape or form, even myself, even men, by the way, I might not have made this point, but Ozempic does help with testosterone with men. It does. It does. There is benefits to it. There's benefits and negatives. Do your research. But my point is, learn that the foundations of things is healthy eating, looking after yourself, drinking enough water, regular movement. You will never skip that stage, and anyone promising you a silver bullet is lying. Made that point earlier, but it's a good point to close on. Celebrity bodies, celebrity ideas of beauty, there's so much beneath that iceberg. That is what I will say. That body, that idealistic body or beauty standard that you are craving for, if only you knew what they did to get it half the time. And my final point of what Iggy Azalea said is that yes, they do have access to so much more research than us. Celebrities do have wealth, they have access, most importantly, to procedures, to medication, to hormones, therapy that we don't have. So when they're selling you this body, it's often a lot more to it, so do your research. But also learn that they probably hate their body, some of them. And that's why they keep altering it. Because if they were genuinely satisfied, they wouldn't change it as much. And that's just my opinion. But I'll leave the rest to you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what's this underneath the noise? I'm out.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help. Ozempic is proven to lower A1C. Most people who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. And you may lose weight. Adults lost on average up to 12 pounds. In adults also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
Ozempic helped me get back in my type 2 diabetes zone.